Vikings were renowned not only for their seafaring abilities, but also for their practical, resilient construction techniques. One detail in particular, a subtle roof vent design, allowed them to protect precious timber from relentless rain and wind. Before we dive into the intricacies of this ancient technique, subscribe to After the Sirens and leave a comment sharing your thoughts on Viking building methods. Today, you'll discover a method that's surprisingly relevant even for modern builders: historical reconstructions and survivalist shelters. Timber was the backbone of Viking architecture. Longhouses, granaries and ship sheds relied heavily on massive beams that had to withstand not only weight but decades of exposure to the elements. Unlike modern treated lumber, Viking wood was susceptible to rot, warping, and insect damage if moisture penetrated the roof. Maintaining dry timber wasn't a matter of aesthetics, it was survival. Structures could collapse under the weight of waterlogged beams, and communities could face ruin if critical storage buildings failed. The Vikings solved this with a clever ventilation system that minimized moisture accumulation while protecting interiors from wind-driven rain. At the heart of this design was a ridge vent cleverly integrated into the roof structure. Instead of sealing the roof completely, Vikings left a controlled gap at the ridge, the apex where two roof planes met. This vent allowed warm, moist air trapped inside the building to escape naturally. At the same time, the overhanging eaves and the angle of the roof prevented rain from entering directly. Airflow created a constant drying effect, moving moisture-laden air out while drawing drier air from lower openings. This passive system maintained timber integrity without any mechanical assistance, relying purely on natural convection and thoughtful geometry. For historical reconstruction projects, understanding this principle is critical. When building a replica longhouse, ensure the ridge vent is slightly open along the length of the roof, protected by overlapping boards to prevent rain intrusion. The angle of the roof should be steep enough to shed water quickly, while the vent allows warm air to escape. For survivalist shelters or, modern timber constructions, this same principle can really extend the life of untreated wood in a humid environment. Installing a small ridge vent, along with wide overhanging eaves, can help prevent costly rot in cabins, sheds, or even outdoor storage structures. One practical application is in garden timber structures or outdoor workshops. Instead of sealing your roof completely with, say, a tarpaulin or metal sheeting, you should leave a controlled vent at the ridge, covered by a simple wooden flashing. Another example is converting an old barn or shed into a usable workshop space. Cutting a small, continuous vent along the roof ridge, even just a few centimeters wide, will dramatically reduce moisture buildup in the wood. This is exactly what Vikings did, and it allowed their buildings to last for decades, sometimes even centuries, in wet northern climates. The Viking roof vent wasn't just clever, it was a deep understanding of physics and natural ventilation. Warm air naturally rises. In a closed, poorly ventilated building, this rising air condenses on roof timbers, creating a perfect environment for mould and rot. By allowing this air to escape at the ridge, Vikings created a drying cycle. Cool air entered from below, rose as it warmed, and exited at the vent. This continuous airflow cycle is the same principle modern architects use when designing ventilated roof spaces. Vikings mastered building for extremes, and this roof vent detail is one of the simplest yet most effective lessons. If you're constructing a survival shelter in a damp forest, or building a cabin in a rainy environment, consider airflow as essential as waterproofing. Don't rely solely on synthetic materials. Structural design can naturally prevent rot. Even if you do not build a full longhouse, incorporating a small ridge vent can extend the life of wooden supports and beams dramatically. The beauty of this Viking solution, well, it really lies in its elegance and efficiency. Without nails, screws or modern sealants, they achieve something that many contemporary builders still struggle with: dry, durable timber in harsh climates. This technique demonstrates that historical knowledge is not just interesting, it is actionable. Whether for historical education, practical construction, or even survivalist preparation, understanding Viking roof ventilation allows us to apply centuries-old wisdom in the modern world. If you found this guide valuable, do subscribe to After the Sirens. For more deep dives into historical techniques, share this video with fellow history enthusiasts, and leave a comment telling us how you might apply Viking methods in your own projects. By studying the past, we gain knowledge that is both practical and inspiring, helping us build structures that stand the test of time.